What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So I gotta put this out here because I like explaining myself. And so when you guys get the picture and understand where I'm coming from, then it all makes sense. But it makes no sense when I clearly say something and you guys still have questions about the same things. Not that I'm not explaining myself, it's just that you guys are hard of hearing purposely because you're trying to defend something or someone, but you're overlooking what the facts are. Facts kill people inside. Now, we've been talking about Floyd, Pacquiao, Canelo. The focus wasn't even Canelo, but somehow wasn't even Floyd, but because I made an analogy using Floyd and Pacquiao, that's the direction people went. So let me make something clear by saying this right here, okay? If you are fighting at a particular weight, example, okay? Let me further a point that I made about Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker came up from lightweight. Pernell Whitaker, okay, wound up going all the way to 154 to fight Julio Cesar Vasquez, and he took his belt. He did not fight Terry Norris. He made it clear he had no plans on fighting Terry Norris. If he would have fought Terry Norris, in my strong opinion, Terry Norris would have beat Pernell Whitaker. And you know what people would have said? They would have said, oh, Pernell Whitaker was too small. Now, he wasn't too small to beat Julio Cesar Vasquez, but he was too small for Terry, who basically came in at 151, 151 and a half most of the time. You probably can count on one hand how many times he actually came in 154, if ever. Okay? But at the end of the day, that's where he finished his career at 147. Why would Pernell Whitaker go back down in weight when there's a lot less money and the challenges that's there is not going to boost his career anymore? Well, you get to a point where your body starts to outgrow a division. That's what you do. You move. So now, let me ask you something. People said, "Oh, but Manny Pacquiao fought this guy." Like, wait. So what are you saying that Mayweather didn't? Yeah, but he didn't fight this guy and this guy. So when I state, okay, let me name all the fighters that was available that Pacquiao could have fought that he never fought. You're making a claim about one fighter that you can clearly make about both fighters. And to show you how you guys are hard of hearing, I clearly stated, in my opinion, I think all those guys that Floyd beat, I think Pacquiao would beat, because I thought they were the two best fighters then. We don't know that for sure if that's what would have happened, but that's what I strongly believe. So that's what I'm saying when you say, "Oh, how come he ain't fighting Vernon Forrest at 147?" Why didn't Pacquiao fight Vernon Forrest at 147? How come he didn't fight Winky Wright at 147? How come Manny Pacquiao didn't fight Winky Wright at 147? I understand we can go on with that. Okay, why didn't Prince Nassim and Pacquiao ever fight? Y'all quick to say, but Floyd never fought. No, I remember Floyd calling him out. I remember, in fact, I think it was right after the Diego Corrales fight. Larry Merchant stand up there with Floyd Mayweather, out of his own mouth, said, I'm pretty sure he asked him about the fighters, and all those names, the Barreras, all these other people that you guys are talking about, yeah, when he's saying their names, and look, the fights didn't happen. Don't ask me why he didn't fight him. I don't live with Floyd Mayweather. I don't hang with Floyd. I'm not friends with the guy. That's a question y'all have to ask on Floyd Mayweather. All I can tell you is this, okay? He clearly was calling these guys out. And Larry Merchant, on his own accord, says, I'm pretty sure after a performance like that, Prince Nassim Hamed is certainly not going to want to fight you now. And as much as y'all think of Prince Nassim Hamed right now, back then he got a lot of criticism for his awkwardness, and they said he had them wild uppercuts and hooks he used to throw. And they were saying that he's entertaining to the fans, but he's fundamentally he does a lot of things wrong, but this and this, and they gave him credit for shit, but they shot him down the same way. Somehow, when time goes by, all of a sudden, y'all don't remember these things that people critiqued about these fighters. Okay, the reality is this. Every fight that you want to see is not going to happen. I give you an example of something too. Marvin Hagler, when he fought the Beast Mugabe, right? You know who wanted that fight? Mike McCallum. Even if you think Marvin Hagler would have beat Mike McCallum, wouldn't it be better to know for sure? Because I'm pretty sure 9.5, 10 people out of 10 feel like they feel strongly, and I'm one of them, that Mike McCallum would have beat the Beast Mugabe. Marv chose the Beast Mugabe. You all just sat here and said, man, that Canelo Alvarez has beaten everybody, so he earned the right to pick and choose. Hold up. Floyd Mayweather beat everybody, including Canelo. So why didn't he have the right to pick and choose? Do you see the point, what I'm saying to you guys? You can't fucking sit here and say one guy was wrong because you think he did something. Okay, you want to go through the fucking list of names that Canelo fucking fought that was nobody's? You want to go through the list of fucking names? Okay, for example, when Pacquiao came back after he got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez, why did he fight fucking Brandon Rios, who was a fucking C-class fighter at best? Why did he said he didn't need the tune-up, right? He said that Marquez got lucky. So what's funny is his words didn't match Freddie Roach's. You know, we picked Brandon Rios, get his confidence back. I see. When you ask me questions about a fighter, that clearly shows me that you're bitter inside about what that fighter has done. You asking me like I'm supposed to know why he did or didn't do. I can only tell you what these guys say. So, for example, when I say Canelo said he don't want to fight another Mexican, am I repeating what he said, or am I making that shit up? That's what the fuck I'm doing, repeating Canelo. But yet, somehow, y'all make excuses for one guy. Okay, here's my thing, right? I'm a motherfucking heavyweight. Let's say if I knocked out Deontay Wilder, I knocked out Anthony Joshua, I knocked out Tyson Fury, I knocked out Joseph Parker, I knocked out Andy Ruiz, I knocked out Joe Joyce, I knocked out Daniel Dubois. And let's say my career ended with 7 fights. And I knocked out nothing but champions or people who were champions, right? Do you think I give a flying fuck about you trying to tell me, but Wilder got 40-something knockouts, he got more fights, AJ got more right, but what happened when the motherfuckers fought me? So you trying to push the narrative that they're better than me. The most you can say is they accomplished more in terms of longevity. That's the only thing you could fucking say. But you can't, but to tell me that they're better than me, how the fuck somebody I beat is better than me? Okay, this is what you guys try to do. Because it bothers you when you see that 50-0. Because no matter how much you can say a fighter put a great fight on, it was a great performance, oh, this guy is this, I respect him, the fact that he's going to end his career with 3, 4, 5, 6, however many losses bothers people when you see that 50-0, because you want to convince yourself and others that Floyd ain't better than this person, that person. People that he beat, you guys are saying are better than him, which makes no sense. And it's any fucking fighter. Like I said, let me say it again. Fuck Floyd Mayweather on a personal level. I don't know him. I'm speaking on the logic. Example, if I tell you Floyd Mayweather has beat more world champions than anybody else, and this is in the history books, you're not arguing with me. You're arguing with your fucking self. Because 1, I'm not going to argue with you. 2, I don't care enough to argue with you. 3, this is facts. Go pull up right now. Who has beaten more world champions in boxing history? Look at who's number 1. Floyd Mayweather. Now, how does it mean something when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, anybody else? How many weight classes he went up and how many? But, oh, I see. Because that's a record Pacquiao don't hold. So basically, if Pacquiao holds a record, or a fighter that you like holds a record, then it means something. But if Floyd holds that same record or break that same record, then it don't mean nothing. That's the type of shit that I'm talking about. How people play this favoritism shit, but it doesn't matter. Because in boxing, what happens in the ring is what matters. So I don't give a fuck if Manny Pacquiao was a 12 fucking division champion. To say that he's better than Floyd when he fucking clearly lost to Floyd is stupid. You beat Floyd, Along with all those other accomplishments, how the fuck I'm gonna say and tell you Floyd is better than him if he beat Floyd? So when I say you might not like the way the fight went and how, give a fuck about that, that's not what it's about. Luis Ortiz just fought Andy Ruiz. Luis Ortiz was winning that fight. He was outboxing dude. Luis Ortiz behind the jab. He could have fucking won that fight, and if he would have stuck to that. But it's like, no, I don't know if this is a discipline issue with him or if it was a thing of him trying to please the fans. But if he sticks to his game plan, I don't give a fuck about them booing. I don't care nothing about that, and he shouldn't. The point is you want the win. I'm glad Andy Ruiz won the fight because I didn't want to see Wilder versus Ortiz 3. And I'm pretty sure that that's what they were heading for. So it's like, no. That's what would have ended up happening with Wilder, him and Ortiz 3. You know, it's always an exciting fight with Ortiz. No. Okay. He didn't fight consistent enough where he could have avoided those knockdowns. That's what won the fight for Andy Ruiz. Okay. How many fucking times did fucking Pacquiao and Marquez fight? 4 times. For what? That could have been 3 other fighters that he fought. Why didn't Pacquiao fight Zab Judah? Why didn't Pacquiao fight Naseem Hamed? Why didn't Pacquiao fight Vernon Forrest and Winky Wright? Why? Now, I'm asking the question not because I think he was scared of him. I'm asking the question because you're asking me, why didn't Floyd fight this person, that person? And the funny thing is they both fought 4 of the same fucking fighters, but you overlook that just to say, but Floyd didn't fight this person. Floyd fought 23 fucking world champions altogether. And when I say 23, I don't mean they were all world champions at the same time. I mean they were champions at one point and they were champions that he took their titles from. 23. He still holds that fucking record to this day. So when you make up in your head to try to make the point that Pacquiao is better, okay, if that's your opinion, that's fine. I don't give a shit about people's opinions. That's your opinion. But the facts about the records, that's okay, that's a different story. And the fact that Floyd beat him, that's a fact. That ain't an opinion. That's a fact. Okay, the judges saw it that way, so did I, so did everybody that even the people that hate Floyd know Floyd won that fight. But you had people, if you watch it in slow motion, remember that dumb shit? If you watch the fight in slow motion, Pacquiao really won. Oh, that's the new thing. Oh, yeah, the guy really didn't win. We gotta watch it in slow motion so we can see what really happened. Come on, man. You guys ask these questions out of animosity for Floyd. I don't care about your animosity for Floyd. I don't have nothing against Pacquiao or nobody else. I don't know these people. You understand what I'm saying? I don't even have nothing against you guys for answering the question. If I did, I'd tell you to go fuck yourself. Understand what I'm saying? My point is, you guys are pointing out shit that don't mean anything. Okay? Because, why didn't Marvin Hagler fight James Toney? Huh? Why did Sugar Ray Leonard fight Donnie Lalonde instead of James Toney? Why didn't he fight Mike McCallum? How come he never fought Michael Nunn? I mean, there's plenty of fights. Like I said in the last video, why didn't Mike Tyson ever fight Tommy Morrison or David Tua? Why didn't Holyfield fight Tommy Morrison? Huh? Yeah, because Mike Tyson is the beloved one out of all of those guys. Oh, Holyfield and Lewis waited for Tyson to get old. Stick with what I'm talking about. Get out your feelings and understand what I'm saying to you. The guy that's the favorite is always going to be the one, oh, they avoided him. How do you know who avoided who? All you're saying is the fights didn't happen, right? Okay, I'm saying the fights didn't happen. I don't know why the fights didn't happen. Some of them we get answers that, well, this is the answer that was given to us, and that's all we can go by. But if the words and the actions don't add up, do you know how many times Floyd Mayweather sat on camera and said to the world, my body's breaking down, like, you know, my hands are getting brittle. The dude even retired a couple times because of that shit. He comes back, he fights Marquez. Everybody, yeah, yo, you seen the fight Marquez gave Pacquiao? Shit, man, Marquez is this, Marquez is that. Right, but somehow when he loses to Floyd easily, his best weight is at one. Oh, stop that bullshit, man. You wasn't saying that shit before they fought. You wasn't saying, in fact, the funny thing about it was when Floyd beat him, When he dropped him in the first round, first or second, whatever round it was, he dropped him in. Right? I'm sitting there watching this fight, and I'm like, you know what's funny, man? Floyd is clearly outboxing Marquez and making it look easy, right? And already, you started hearing excuses early. Why bring up this man weight class? He chose to go to that weight, and he stayed there. He didn't go up and then go back down. He didn't do that. And as for a fighter going back down, why the fuck would you go? Okay, that would be like you working for PSENG. All right? You go from fucking climbing poles to a supervisor to assistant manager to manager, and all of a sudden willingly just take a lesser paying role in that company, right? For what? You would have a purpose, right? I would think maybe you feel like you're not qualified, there's too much responsibility, something like that, right? Because if you do it on your own accord, people would think you're a fucking nutcase. Why would you not want to be the manager? Well, why, right? If you can, for what? Why wouldn't you, right? So if you were demoted, oh, that makes sense. But for you on your own accord, no. What the fuck would you go back down and wait for? Plain and simple. Who the fuck does that shit? The only people who does that is when truthfully they feel like it's more of a struggle fighting the bigger guys. Like I'm really not that way. You stay there? No, I don't want to hear that shit. You stay there, like who goes back? Okay, why the fuck didn't Pacquiao go back down and wait to fight smaller fighters that he never got a chance to fight? What? My whole point. You can ask that same question to any fucking fighter, but y'all pointed at one person. Only why? Because he's 50-0. Oh, he didn't fight this person, that. So why didn't Pacquiao fight Jose Luis Castillo? Why didn't he fight Diego Corrales? Okay, so when you go up in weight, so what? Okay, well he wasn't there yet, and he's still there. Go fight him. They all could have did something different. Who the fuck cared about Donnie the Lion versus Sugar Ray when that fight happened? Nobody. Sugar Ray Leonard fought Duran in the third fight, and they got booed out the building, both of them. They booed them badly. Sugar Ray Leonard was only 33 years old. And every time Sugar Ray Leonard lost a fight, and guess what? All right, for anybody that may say, oh, but man, you hating on Ray, which I don't care. Anybody Sugar Ray fought, I was rolling with Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray Leonard got booed out the fucking building. That fight, that third fight with fucking Duran could have been against James Toney or Michael Nunn. You know, it could have been against a Julian Jackson. It could have been, no. He went up in weight. He made the accomplishment, and they praised him for it. Okay, cool. Sugar Ray Leonard can come from behind and knock you out. Sugar Ray, a great veteran. But every time Sugar Ray lost, it was always, oh, he's not the same. And it's like, man, look, come on. When you win, you the man. But when you lose, oh, something was wrong. But that excuse don't work for everybody else. Okay. And that's why I said, when people make excuses for certain fighters, you guys ask the questions. I quote what you say. Like, I mean, I can remember seeing people put in, I had messages on my videos talking about, oh, Canelo is the best fighter of this generation. And when people say that don't know, like the younger fans will go, wait, who beat him? And they go look on it, Floyd was, Now you did all this praising, so now that makes them go watch Floyd. Yo, that dude was a genius in the ring. He would, oh man, he picked Canelo because Canelo was too young. No, he didn't pick fucking Canelo. He did not pick Canelo. The fans picked Canelo. Remember, that's the fight where they had the pole. Same with Marquez. The fans picked. He fought Canelo. So guess what? Canelo's a part of Floyd's era. They fought. Floyd was 36. It's funny because when Terry Norris beat Ray Leonard was 34. You know what they said? Oh, Leonard was old. Terry wouldn't have beat him in his prime. So you're old at 34, but at 36 you're not old. You see the point? That's what I'm saying. You guys try to make points against other fighters, but you what you don't realize is you try to play fucking checkers with a chess player. That's what you're doing. And I'm listening to you guys, it's like you're not making any sense, because if you're going to sit here and say that a man, now don't get me wrong, everybody doesn't have the same ability at the particular age. You know, it's not like you automatically lose reflexes the same age, no, or you automatically lose power or speed or at the same time. And if you guys have common sense to understand that, understand my point. Every time you say, this guy didn't do this guy didn't do that, how come they did? Look at the fighters that you sitting there praising, and there's many people that had the same questions for them. The funny thing is, y'all got the answers for everything. I'm bringing the questions to your attention so you realize you asking the question that everybody can be asked. And when you and what a lot of people try to do is say it don't matter because that guy would have beat that guy anyway. Yeah, that's your story. We don't give a fuck about your story. We don't know who would have won. If Holyfield never fought Tyson, you couldn't pay a person to say Tyson would have lost to Holyfield. If Bernard Hopkins never fought Trinidad, you couldn't pay a fucking person to say that Hopkins would have beat Trinidad. And you know the funny thing about the Trinidad story? Because he was a part of that middleweight series. Remember that tournament? William Jaffe, David Reed, I think, was in it. Hopkins and Trinidad. And you know what's so funny? He beat legit middleweights, and it came down to him and Hopkins. And people had the fucking nerve to say, but you know, Trinidad not really a middleweight. Man, y'all wasn't saying that shit when he was beating William Jaffe and David Reed. Y'all wasn't saying that bullshit then. Y'all motherfuckers is talking about how great he is. And guess what? Trinidad was a great fighter. But all of a sudden when he lose, oh, now he's not a real middleweight. This is the type of shit I'm talking about. Come on, man. My bad, y'all. Idiot. But yeah, you know, this is the type of shit I'm talking about. You can't sit up here and praise a fighter for something when they win. But then when they lose, it's not the better man won. Oh, but Hopkins is a middleweight, he in the middleweight. Nah, stop it. Stop it. When Roy Jones went up to fight to heavyweight, when he went to fight the Quiet Man, if Roy Jones would have lost that fight, you wouldn't have heard me say he was too small. Simply because he made a conscious decision to go up to heavyweight, and he was heavy enough to fight as a heavyweight. And there's been heavyweights in the history of boxing that was 180 pounds, 188. They were small heavyweights. John Ruiz's size is the only reason people thought he was going to beat Roy. I remember before the fight even started, people was like, yeah, we saw this, you know, Roy Jones when he came in, and we saw John Ruiz, and we're thinking like, man, this guy's too small, he's going to get annihilated. And Roy Jones went there and he picked him apart. But then after Roy Jones wins, because let's not forget, Roy Jones had a lot of hate too back in the days. And after Roy Jones wins the fight, what do? Well, you know, it's not like he fought Lennox Lewis, you know, or Mike Tyson, which was the guy he wanted, but Mike Tyson was supposed to be retired at the time, right? So wait, first you thought he was going to get beat down. You said that out your own mouth. Then he beats Ruiz. Now all of a sudden, Ruiz is not that good of a fighter. And listen, I didn't care about Ruiz as a fighter either, but guess what? You guys praised Ruiz when he did win certain fights. Like when he beat Holyfield. Y'all didn't say it's because Holyfield was old and over the hill, which he was. No, y'all just gave away, you know, Ruiz all the credit in the world. But when he lost to Roy Jones, oh, he's not that good of a heavyweight. So he was good until he fought Roy. All right. These are the things that you guys got to understand, or you need to understand. I don't speak on behalf of a fighter. I speak on behalf of the logic and the reason that people fail to see, but clearly overlook because you praise it in another fighter but shoot down another. I'll give you another example for those who still probably going, yeah, but Oscar De La Hoya. He said Floyd Mayweather is tainting his legacy by fighting these exhibitions. All of a sudden now you the fucking motivational speaker and director of everybody's fucking career, and you can't even get a fucking decent fight for Ryan Garcia. So anyway, he said all this shit, right? And then he turns around and says, you know, this guy should be fighting real fighters. The guy's retired. What the fuck do you mean? No, because De La Hoya is another guy that wanted to see Floyd lose, and that's the whole thing. Keep fighting. Eventually, Father Time gonna kick your ass, and then somebody else gonna kick your ass some more, and it never happened. Okay. He said he shouldn't be doing that. He's a real fighter. You fight real fighters. Remember that interview? And all in the same fucking interview, same guy says, I heard that, it's possible that Conor McGregor might want to fight Canelo, and they're talking like 200 million. Oh, we can make the fight. We can make that. Oh shit! All in the same breath, you just made a hypocrite out yourself. Floyd Mayweather somehow is tainting his legacy by fighting a guy that's not an actual fighter, and Conor McGregor, the same fucking fighter you just sat here and said, oh, we can make the fight. Yeah, we can make the fight. Oh shit! And you know what? I'm waiting for that fucking commentator to say, Oscar, you just contradicted yourself. Nope. He didn't do that. He just rolled with it. And I'm like, wow. Look at that bullshit. You just sat here and said this man is tainting his legacy by fighting a guy that's not a fighter. And because he even says like, well, he's a combat fighter, but it's not the same. He's not a boxer. You know, they wrestled and they done, it's not. Oh, but it's okay for fucking Canelo to take that fight. That's not a contradiction. This is the point of what I'm saying. So if you, as a fan, was going, oh man, nobody want to see Floyd and Conor. Why would he want to fight Conor? Conor's not an MMA guy. And let's just say it's announced that Conor's fighting Canelo. Then you go, oh yeah, Canelo and Conor. Yeah. Wait, what happened to? Don't nobody want to see that because Conor's not a boxer. He's an MMA guy. What happened to that? All of a sudden, it's okay now for Canelo to do it. This is what I'm talking about. I don't care nothing about who you like and don't like, which is what I've stated, and I've stated it now. Okay? If you guys are still hard of hearing, that's just going to be on you. Okay? Because I'm not going to go through this again. But I'm telling you guys, plain and simple, when you open your mouth to shoot a fighter down, but then you turn around and applaud another fighter for doing the same shit, and I call you the fuck out, I'm going to always call you out. And I'm going to always bring your own points, wait for the wind to blow, open my hand, and let it blow right back in your face. Because this is all I'm doing. I take what you fucking guys say and remind you of what the fuck you said and did. Why? Because you guys love, like for me, I'll tell you in a minute, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, we can all have our opinions, but you guys love to tell me, I guarantee you, this guy will beat that guy. I know for a fact, I'll sell my house, I'm so confident. I'm going to put my house up. Okay, if you think that little of your wife and kids that you're going to, jeopardize you having a roof over your fucking head, you go right on the hit. It has nothing to do with me. It ain't that deep for me. And then when the shit don't come into fruition, y'all get real quiet. Have nothing to say. You don't have to say, Aries, you was right. Motherfucker, I know. But I told you. I don't know. How can I tell you? Listen, I don't think Ryan Garcia will beat Tank Davis. Am I telling you it's impossible? No, because shit can happen. But I mean, both of them dudes sharp and on point. I think Tank Davis eventually knocks Ryan Garcia out. Simple. I'm not going to sit here and guarantee that shit. Because I don't know that. I'm telling you what I think will happen. Anybody can land a shot, and all of a sudden you land that shit right. Oh shit, I ain't see that coming. Night. All right. Fight's over. You guys like to tell people, oh, I know for a fact that this person is going to do this and they're going to do that. Like for all the people that saying shit like Tyson Fury and Usyk will both beat Anthony Joshua, so there's no need for AJ and Fury to fight and all this. And okay, that's your fucking opinion. That's what that is. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury is a fight that can still happen. And unless either one of them fall off, like really to the point where they just can't perform at all, there's no reason that fight shouldn't happen. In fact, Tyson Fury was just at a wrestling event in WWE. And I just saw a video of him It's basically it was a tweet, not a tweet. It was a tweet from Twitter where Tyson Fury was saying that basically Usyk was saying, now you see how you fucking guys love to see all you big mouth motherfuckers. I gotta throw this in your face. All you big mouth motherfuckers. Oh, the fight's confirmed. One of you motherfuckers went in the message comment, put that the fight was confirmed and put a little note up there, dated it, right? That it was confirmed, December 17th. You see how y'all all got quiet and shut up because it's not a fight happening in December 17th, which I think is stupid because like I said before, you got Christmas on the 25th. Man, fuck Fury and damn Usyk. Man, people got Christmas shopping to do and things. Ain't no fucking body worrying about you supporting your little bullshit pay-per-view and they got shit. I don't give a fuck who fighting. You understand what I mean? Unless it's somebody in my family or something like that and I'm supporting something they're doing. But like other than that, no. Why would you wait? That's a dumbass date. Okay. Then all of a sudden, I'm hearing it's going down in January. Okay, but where? Now, what did Usyk just tweet? There's no way that the fight can happen in January. He sustained injuries in the fight with AJ, and it's going to take a couple of months to heal. That's what he said. So he said, definitely the fight can take place, early next year. That's Usyk's words. So what happened to fight confirmed? This is what I mean about you guys. You love to say shit with such arrogance, like y'all know everything. Y'all act like when they're having these press conferences, these little meetings and management, y'all fucking sitting right there taking notes. No, you fucking sitting listening, watching fucking YouTube, surfing videos to get information, and then basically you hear some motherfucker tell you some false bullshit, and then you run with it in defense of your favorite fighter. Not because you're giving boxing news, but because you think that you're trying to correct something that we're blasting somebody for, or either something that doesn't make sense that we're asking about. But you can't fucking sit up here and tell me when the fuck a fight is going to happen, and then I go check and guess what? There's no fight confirmed. So I'm like, okay, right. What all of y'all do is back out and shut up and get real quiet and slither like the little snake and hide under the little rock because, damn, I talked all that shit about the fight happening now. Damn. So now, because of what Usyk said, and, Tyson Fury tweeted, maybe, right? Maybe he'll fight the big Dasa, Anthony Joshua. That's a fight that could still happen. Usyk himself said, if Tyson Fury and his camp don't want to wait, and then the fight happened when basically he's healed and he's ready to go, and that if that fight's off the table, then maybe they'll fight Joshua a third time. And I personally don't want to see a third fight with Joshua Usyk because I just don't think Anthony Joshua can beat him. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, I'm not even up for that. And like I told you, the whole training camp that Anthony Joshua had, I never saw nothing in him that I felt was like, yo, he's going to be like better, like just a different, yo, he's like so much improved that no, you really can't do that based off a training video. Now you can pick up things, like I said, if you see that, okay, he's sitting down on his punches, he's throwing punches faster now, he's putting combinations together the way he's supposed to, shit like that. I haven't seen that in Anthony Joshua. So no, I'm not looking forward to that. Now, why? Because I want to see AJ beat all the heavyweights. I'm going to sit up here and tell you, yeah, a third fight with AJ. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But I'm personally just not looking forward to a third fight between the two because I think it's going to be the same thing all over again. Because Anthony Joshua just doesn't get it. He just doesn't have it in him to fight Usyk the way that he needs to secure the win. So at the end of the day, what's going to change? Other than he's going to have another loss on his record and Usyk is going to have another win on his record. I mean, it is what it is. But I'm not looking forward to that. How many people out there that like Anthony Joshua is probably going, I'm down with the third fight. Yeah, because you cross your fingers hoping that he get the win. Now, if he wins, great. But I'm not looking forward to that shit. Let somebody else get a shot. AJ had 2 shots back to back. Now, why can't the rest of y'all be like that? I'm going to sit up here, no, man, AJ. No, AJ had 2 goals at it, man. Goddamn, how many chances did you need? And I just feel like that's an unnecessary rematch. And the thing about it is, look, he said, basically, if the fight with Fury don't fall through? Why not somebody else? Because even though AJ just lost again, it's still a big money fight, and it'll be a big anticipation just for the simple fact people want to see if AJ can finally do it. Is that any different from Marquez and fucking Manny Pacquiao fighting 4 times? Is that any different from Manny Pacquiao and Tim Bradley fighting fucking 3 times? Nobody want to see that shit 3, 4 fucking times. I certainly don't. You know, Mickey Ward and Latrell Gotti had 2 of the bloodiest fucking wars that you ever going to see. Yeah, we need to see that shit 3, 4 times? No. And especially when you talk about 2 fighters who, yeah, against each other, y'all can do all that shit. But when it comes to other fighters, nah. There's fighters that'll beat the brakes off of both of y'all. Zab Judah told a story. They asked him who was his toughest fight. And the guy said Floyd, right? He's like, nah. He said his toughest fight was with Mickey Ward. And people was like, what? They was blasting Zab Judah for saying that. I'm like, hey, man, fuck him out, you know. He know what his toughest fight was. Sometimes people do say shit on purpose to try to take credit from a person, but what he said was, nah. He said the reason why the fight with Mickey Ward was tougher because I was real young. And this is like my first big test. And he was already like, you know, been fighting for a while. And so, you know, he was like, this is like a step up for me. That made sense. So basically, by the time he got to Floyd, he been fighting for a while too, and it's like, okay, he could handle himself better than he could when he was younger, is what he's saying. But pretty much at the same time, guess what? He won the fight with Ward. He lost to Floyd, but he said that was his toughest fight. Is what I'm saying. People start just going off in the comment section about everything, and it's like, man, you guys try to tell people what they should and shouldn't think based on your opinion, but you're not dealing with the reality of what they're saying. You might not see Mickey Ward as a tough challenger or whatever, or maybe some people do. You know, for those who do, then you'll, you know, understand, like, look, man, yeah, he was a young kid coming up, and this is what I'm saying. How many people how many other people said what Zab Judah said about himself? He was only a kid. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I'm telling you guys, even with these excuses about how old or young somebody is, stop that shit, man. Stop that. Especially when we got fighters that was, like I said, a guy like Wilfredo Benitez winning a world champion at 17, and you gonna tell me about a motherfucker being 23. And I can name other people that was 23 and 22 that did the same shit. So that's where I'm at. I'm not about defending the fight. I'm about the reality of what we're talking about. The logic, the reason. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch y'all in the next video.